What's a sexual activity that seems exciting but often turns out to be less enjoyable than anticipated? Standing 69. Anytime we do it, I end up with the worst headaches from being upside down too long. And the worst part is, my wife thinks I'm faking the headaches. Your wife's jaw muscles are extremely impressive. Look honey, no hands. LMFAO. Sex by a river or lake. Mosquitoes on your sack is not an enjoyable experience. Only when a mosquito lands on your testicles, you will truly learn that there is always a way to solve problems without using anger and violence. Confucius. I wonder if it's true, but they always quote Confucius. Francis Bacon. Fucking in a cornfield. You think you've beaten the system, sneaking through a few rows of corn so you can get it on in the fresh open air, but the ground is either too soft and mud gets everywhere in a bad way, or dry and clumpy. The corn is too close together for good maneuverability, so you need to hunt around for a gap. If you wait until corn maze season, you get too many kids coming across you. Did you learn that last part from experience? I made out with my girlfriend in a dead end at a corn maze. Legit got slayed by a little kid that came around a corner and shouted "Ooh, gross." Didn't think this was a horror maze. That kid was brutally honest. There's no coming back from that. Sex standing up with a really big height difference like 5 feet 2 inches and 6 feet 4 inches. Either weird bendy legs or tippy toes and bendy legs. Can't focus if I'm not standing comfortably. Step stools are great for that, my friend. What are you doing, step stool? I never knew my real stool. Anything where sex plus water, pool, ocean, shower, etc. Water is not a good lubricant. Ocean or lake is worse because you're pumping that nasty water inside them. I was quite young when I had sex in the ocean for the first time. Freaked out afterwards thinking about how wrecked I'd get if whale semen or something of the like had gotten in there. Elmfowl. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to drop out of school to raise this baby beluga. This is how mermaids are made. Sex on the beach. Sand, so much sand. Anakin can relate. It's coarse and it gets everywhere. Whipped cream. Ever accidentally spill a sugar soda and you miss a spot and it's sticky and gross when it dries? Yeah, right after the whipped cream is licked off, that area becomes sticky in the same way. Maple syrup turns into Gorilla Glue. Even waddling to the shower and separating there was painful for both of us. Found the Canadian, guys. Sex in a field. Seemed super romantic and spontaneous. We both ended up getting chigger bites all of and thought the other gave STDs. After some name calling and a doctor visit later, we just had big bites from our choice of bed, lol. Yeah, we went for garden sex. Shame about the ant's nest. Looking for that guy who tried scat and regretted it. This is a great example of why people need to understand that just because you like something in porn doesn't mean you will enjoy it in real life. Porn only gives you a visual of what's happening, and a very specific heightened visual that isn't what most people will look like while doing those things. It does not give you feel, smell, or taste. Jumping right into going directly into the mouth was a hell of a choice for him. I find it wild that never for a second did he think shit smells bad. Probably tastes bad too. I'm incredulous that he found some way to finish, because if something like that happened to me, I would be running to vomit and then dump the most alcohol-filled mouthwash in my mouth and gargle for the next 30 years. Bringing food, whipped cream, chocolate, strawberries, into the equation. It's a mess. Let's just have dessert afterwards next time. I find the pastrami to be the most sensual of all the salted, cured meats. Role-playing can seem exciting but sometimes falls short of expectations if not communicated well. I put on my robe and wizard hat. Magic missile. Magic missile. Magic missile. Huh? I'm the DR, what seems to be the problem, big boy? Me, I have AIDS. Sex in a Renault-type CB Coupe de Ville parked in the cargo hold of a ship while crossing the Atlantic Ocean. I second this. It ends in disaster. When I was a teenager looking for privacy, my GF at the time, and I walked down a field road. We hooked up in the cotton field behind my parents' house and just so happened to have a crop duster fly over us as well. We were in between the rows of cotton, so there were leaves all in my face and the plane was literally spraying pesticides over us. Maybe that's why I have an extra nipple I didn't have before. LOL. My brother in Christ, that might be a tumor. Changing room in a clothing store. My OH called me in to check her dress, and it went from there. Because I was so scared of being caught, I lasted about 11 seconds. So longer than normal. What the fuck is OH, Old Ho, Ohio? Other half. British term. Sex in nature. Bugs and mosquitoes eat you alive. Shower sex. Not just slipping, but my partner got an orgasm migraine, reading a bit more about it. Apparently the hot shower can raise blood pressure and cause it. She said it's crazy painful. My partner got an orgasm migraine. Suffering from success. Sex on an office chair sounded fun. In reality, we span around too fast and she fell off and hit her head on the desk. Mile High Club legendary until you realize airplane bathrooms are tiny torture chambers. After reading all these answers, I just really want to have sex on a bed. I'm going to really date myself for saying this, but sex on a waterbed. The hydrodynamics of it always mess with the rhythm both of you are trying to maintain. Changing positions usually involved one or both of you getting out, and it always seemed like more work than was actually needed. Not to mention the very real fear that, if you got too aggressive, you ran the risk of popping the mattress, which did happen to S friend of mine. 1/10, would not recommend. Sex with your roommate's girlfriend. Sex in the huge space under the large rhododendron bushes in the gardens of the Palais de Versailles started well, both exhilarated and up for it at first, but the mood was killed by the click of cameras and cries of encouragement in Japanese. We weren't the only ones who thought it would be cool to walk inside the bushes. Car sex. Shower sex. Sex on an airplane. All seem great in theory and are hyped up, but in practice, they are all extremely awkward. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a prude, but in my experience all three of these activities are largely unenjoyable. Obviously we still have sex in these places, but none are actually that enjoyable or practical. Threesomes with a person you love. Yeah, I would get hurt. Now a threesome with two people who I barely know? That would be fun. When chicks wear those crotch-less panties, that shit gives my dick a rug burn. Why, they nice to look at, but my dick hurts, take it off. I always take my dick off before sex. I don't enjoy casual sex. I'd rather jack off watching porn at home than fuck some stranger. When I was single the idea of it seemed enticing sometimes, but it was always lackluster. I just need that emotional connection. An ex wanted to try going to sleep together while I was inside her. But without having sex first. So here we are spooning and horny me instinctively just wants to thrust. Magical for her, the worst blue balls of my life. Brother's junk was left marinating.